Today we are going to be doing Romans 19, 20, and 21 out of chapter 6. So let's dig in. I'm using this freedom language because it's easy to picture. You can readily recall, can't you, how at one time the more you did just what you felt like doing, not caring about others, not caring about God, the worse your life became and the less freedom you had. And how much different is it now that you live in God's freedom, your life's healed and expansive in holiness? As long as you did what you felt like doing, ignoring God, you didn't have to bother with right thinking or right living, or right anything for that matter. But do you call that a free life? What did you get out of it? Nothing you're proud of. Where did it get you? A dead end. And these verses speak to me because maybe I'm just the only one out there who used to be deep in sinner territory. But I know what that life looks like. The life of saying, I'm going to do it my way because my way works better. Ha 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 ha, screw the rest of you. And it does cut us off. Burning bridges destroys not only the relationship, obviously, but it damages ourselves in a way. Because we aren't being true to who we truly are. Ignoring the right way of doing things and just doing whatever feels good may feel good, but what does one get out of it? I know for my part, I'm not proud of those things, of the doing it my way setup. Because I know that doing it my way goes craptacularly. Doing it my way broke my back and my neck. Doing it my way cost me a decade of my life to physical agony. And I'm not exactly proud of that. I'm proud of how far God brought me through it using it. And it is that question. Thinking about it, introspecting it, dropping the religious crap, and just asking for a moment. When we do what we feel like doing, ignoring God, ignoring the decency of others, ignoring everyone and everything but what feels good and that pursuit, does it leave with any good feeling? Because the pursuit of the fleeting, the relief is also just fleeting. Usually more so. It's like, I did it, okay, now what? And that's a question that I for myself, I've asked a few times in my life. I was like, whoa, I did it, I was chasing after this, I have it, now what? Because it's chasing after something that feels good, but it doesn't mean it necessarily is good. It can be worked for good, to be sure. But if the options are laid out before us between doing whatever and living with the dead-end consequences, or doing the next right thing and living a new life, that's a very simple on the surface question, and yet difficult the more you dig into it. Because the life of Christ is self-sacrifice. It is the ability to say, I don't want to behave that way. I don't want to be ruled by that. It also means denying ourselves to be able to say, I'm not going to behave like that. It's to say, I will choose to behave like Christ, rather than the dark of me that wants to behave differently. Because that's the thing, it's the Cain idea, mastering that beast. We're given the strength to do it. Christ has already beaten it. So we simply have the matter before us. Dead end. Not caring about anything right or that matters. Or life, and life abundant. It may seem like a simple choice. It's the want, though. Because sometimes it's just needing to look at the situation we're in and we're saying, you know what, I don't want to do this crap anymore. there's got to be a better way. And Yeshua, Jesus, the Christ, the Messiah, that is the better way. It is taking the strength that is offered freely and becoming one with the one who made us. Think on that. I try to myself constantly. To think about, do I want to ignore God and do it my way? Or do I want to surrender my will and try and do it a different way? And before I wrap up, I'll give you a prime example, a perfect example, I hope. Lord, give me the example. When dealing with a frustrating person, the baser instinct is to get irritated with irritating people. You know, it is, and it's not to say it is not a lesser, it's just the base instinct. You know, irritating people provoke irritation, cause effect. The world thing is to act on that irritation. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Well, you're irritating me, so I'm going to irritate you. You cut me off, so I'm going to cut you off. Great way to... Anyway. The kingdom way is to think, okay, why is that person being rude or irritating? Because we don't know everybody's story. We're not omniscient. And it's offering that grace that we ourselves may need. Because perhaps that irritating person that we're dealing with just had the worst day of their life. You know, what if the angry person who tells us to, what is just an example, what if the angry person who says go to hell is dealing with such trauma in their life that the very idea that there is happiness in the world seems confusing and almost offensive to them because they've spent all their life in the dark? And if somebody is dealing with that kind of darkness, why would any of us want to add to it? Especially with mild variation, all of us have had moments of being lost in dark and pain. And that kind of mercy, that kingdom mercy, it's a choice. It is a choice to say, okay, I'm going to try and see you, or them, whomever, to see them rather than to just experience that one brief snapshot. Because if you can see them, not just look at them, but see them, see everyone around us, then judgment has no place in our hearts. Because each one of us is going through a ton of different things. None of us are mind readers, and the world just needs a little mercy. And I pray we offer it. That our lives change from ones that do whatever feels good, and turn to lives that do what is right. And God will give us the wisdom. James 1:5, he says he'll give it more in abundant, without repeating us, without repudiating us, without crapping on us. He'll just give the wisdom. All we have to do is talk and think. Sometimes I honestly wonder if common sense isn't a very biblical concept. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We will see each other for freedom and for 22 through 23. See you guys then. Bye.